Good morning. All right, yesterday I read a book about the elephants and the shirt maker, and I told you I just want you to read. Read. Well, this next book I'm going to read to you is about someone reading. And it's called Charlie Cook's Favorite Book. And it's written by Julia Donaldson, who wrote The Gruffalo. Okay? Now, she likes to use rhyming words. So there was going to be some rhyming words, but I don't want us to stop the flow of the book because sometimes it's so easy to get involved with the rhyming words that we forget to enjoy the story. So that's what we're going to do today. You're just going to listen and enjoy the story, but I want you to listen for characters. Okay? All right, here we go. Now, once again, I said there's lots of rhyming words, but we're not going to stop to talk about them. If you know them, fabulous. And you can say them, awesome. But we're not going to stop to talk about them. Okay, here we go. Once upon a time, there was a boy called Charlie Cook who curled up in a cozy chair and read his favorite book. Shiver me timbers, the story of an old sea dog. So this is about a leaky pirate ship that very nearly sank and a pirate chief who got the blame and had to walk the plank. The chief swam to an island and went digging with his hook. At last he found a treasure chest and in it was a book. Oh my goodness. So he's reading a book, Charlie is reading a book about a pirate that found a book. That's pretty interesting. It was about a girl called Goldilocks and 3 ignorant bears who cried, "Who's had our porridge? Who's been sitting in our chairs?" They went into the bedroom and Baby Bear said, "Look, she's in my bed and what is more, she's got my favorite book." Okay, so far we have Charlie, who was reading a book about a pirate who found a book about Goldilocks, who was reading a book. Oh my goodness. About Sir Percy Pilkington, a bold and fearless knight who told the dragon, "Wait, I'm not quite ready for the fight. You must hear this one first." And then his armor clanked and shook as he read aloud a joke he'd found inside his favorite book. Oh my goodness. Oh, we're going to see if we can remember all the characters at the end. Oh, it might get a little confusing. About Rowena Redalot, a very well-read frog who jumped upon a lily pad and jumped upon a log, then jumped into the library that stood beside the brook and went read it as she jumped upon a book. Oh my goodness, when is this going to end? I don't know. About an oak tree full of birds, each bird had built a nest, and they had a competition to decide which one was best. They chose an owl to judge it, and the winner was a rook, whose nest was lined with pages from his very favorite book. Okay, so far we have Charlie reading a book about a pirate who found a book about Goldilocks, who was reading a book, oh my goodness, Miss Burke can't even remember, who was reading a book about, a joke book about the dragon and the knight, who was reading a book about a frog who jumped upon a lily pad and then went to the library and about the little girl, jumped on a book of a little girl who was reading a book about birds. Who had a favorite book? About a girl who saw a flying saucer in the sky. Some small green men were in it, and they waved as they flew by. Whoa. She tugged her mother's sleeve and said, "Look, Mom, what I've seen." But Mom said, "Hush, I'm trying to read my favorite magazine." About a wicked jewel thief who stole the king's best crown, but then got stuck behind some sheep, which slowed his car right down. The king got on the phone, and soon the cops had caught the crook and flung him into prison, where he read his favorite book. Now, if you look carefully at where he's reading his favorite book in prison, you'll see something else. Look over here. What is the mouse doing? About a greedy crocodile who got fed up with fish and then went on land to try to find some other kind of dish. He went into a bookshop and he there grew even greedier while reading on page 90 of a large encyclopedia. Oh my goodness. Crazy. About the biggest birthday cake the world had ever seen, a team of royal cake makers had made it for the Queen. The cake was so delicious that a famous spaceman took a slice of it to Jupiter. He also took a book. Wow. Oh my goodness. About a ghost who glided around a castle every night, carrying her head and giving everyone a fright. She kept it up till morning, then she found a shady nook and put her head back on again to read her favorite book. Oh my goodness. She's carrying around her head. And then she's like, "Oh, I'm going to stop now. It's time to read a book." About a cozy armchair and a boy called Charlie Cook. Oh my gosh. So Charlie Cook was reading a book about a pirate who read a book about Goldilocks, who read the joke book, who read the book about the frog. The knight in the joke book was reading a book about a frog, who jumped on the book of the little girl who was reading a book in the library about the birds, who was reading their favorite book about a little girl who saw a space alien who went to tell her mom, and her mom didn't want her out because she was reading a magazine, about a jewel thief who was reading a book in prison, about a crocodile who read an encyclopedia, about making a cake for the Queen, who this man from space took a piece of that cake, who was reading a book about a ghost, who put her head back on. She was reading a book about Charlie Cook. So it started here, and it went to all these characters, and right back to Charlie Cook. So Charlie Cook was reading about Charlie Cook. All right, so here is some of the books that they talked about, right? All within one book. See, reading is kind of fun, and it takes us away. So once again, today I want you to just enjoy reading. Just read. Look at the pictures. Use your imagination. Make up things. It's okay. Miss Brooke loved to do that. All right. I want you to have a wonderful, wonderful Wednesday. And I'm going to see you back here tomorrow for Thinkin' Thursday. We're going to read a nonfiction book tomorrow, okay? All right, bye now. I will see you tomorrow.